robust urban garlic flavor.
Oh boy, DSP is having a rough week, so this is a look at one of his Suikoden playthroughs that does not go very well, but there's a very interesting question that I get asked all the time. Why doesn't DSP carry over his goals into the next stream? And Phil will give you an explanation right here.
This is the last hurrah for the stream, everyone. Last 15 or so minutes. Again, last chance to support the stream. Like I said, it would be great if we get to 100. We're at 70-something right now. So if you were thinking of supporting, now would be the time. And thanks in advance if you do. I would really appreciate that. So that way, this would not necessarily be like the worst stream I do all the time.
The irony of that being that a couple weeks ago, DSP kept saying, wow, you guys support me so well that I can choose to play games like Suikoden and I don't have to worry about it. Now he's worrying about it. He's a big what have you done for me lately rather than what have you been doing for me for years. And that's how he keeps afloat because it's a constant state of need.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time for the stream, guys, so I guess we'll hang out for like 10 minutes doing this. Because this is the end of the stream. So what do you guys want to talk about? Tag me in the chat. And again, if you want to support Last Chance, it would be great, again, to get a little bit more. We're at 71. It would have been great to get to 100 of support for the stream. But kind of sucks that looks like we're going to end way under, not even at halfway to our goal. We did have some good streams of this game before, but like I said, it seems like the people who are supporting the playthrough aren't around today.
Yeah, you would think Phil would have that problem underhand because he knows who's supporting exactly when. Like on his computer, he had a spreadsheet of every tip he's ever received, so he keeps very close track of that. You would think DSP would play the same games on the same days of the week to make sure that the people who are able to be there are able to continuously be there. But apparently they lost interest or something.
I don't know who Cyrax is, so you ask me a dumb question like that. It's really stupid. Why does partial not go towards the next goal for DSP tries it? Okay, you gotta think of it this way. The NFL just started, right? So when the Colts are playing, I don't know, the Eagles, right? They're having an epic football game against each other. Let's say the Colts score 21 points and the Eagles score 14 points. So the Eagles lost. On the next game, do the Eagles start with 14 points? No, because each game is separate. Each stream is separate. It's a goal that's set for each stream, and it's set to 0 after each stream. That's how it works. The goal is to raise a certain amount per stream. If you hit those goals, you get rewarded. If you don't hit the goal, you don't get rewarded. That's how it works. It's a pretty simple concept. This is not a cumulative running tally of support. It's on each goal, I'd like to hit a certain amount of support, and if we do, there's a reward. If not, there's no reward. But, you know, you need to have a little bit of intelligence to understand it, I guess. What is a needle?
There's a lot here to pick apart. He has a goal system where you need to hit 10 goals for him to do DSP tries it. So the cumulative total is 1500. The reality is what happens is it becomes 1500 plus because there are streams where he goes over 150 and then there are streams where he don't hit the goal. Okay. So what the fan is asking is like, why isn't there a running tally of 1500? The thing is, it would take a long time to get to 1500 because, hey, if you start out 0 out of 1500, who's gonna start? So he separates it to be a daily thing of 150 on the day stream, 150 on the night stream, and then theoretically if he hits a goal every stream, he does DSP tries it every 5 days. It's usually like 6 or once every week that happens that he does DSP tries it, because that's just how the way the support comes from his audience. So there's 2 ways you could do the rollover. You can just have continuous rollover where the goal, okay, he's at 74 out of 150 on the next stream, it's 74 out of 150. But the thing is, DSP won't do that, and the reason why is because his day and night streams, they don't last the same amount of time. So it's crazy if you start on the day and you have it roll over into the night. Okay, you played for 4 hours, or you were live for 4 hours, you raised 75 bucks, but then on the night stream you're live for only 2 hours. So let's say you got 75 extra, so an entire day you get 150. But remember, his goal is 300 a day. So if he were to do that, he would start the goal at 300. He wouldn't started at 150. And I think if he did that, he thinks that it would disincentivize his audience from giving him money, because 0 out of 300 is a lot taller order than 0 out of 150, even though they have a little bit more time to accomplish it. Then you could make a case, hey, he could roll over the night total into the day stream, considering that the night is less time than the day stream. That's also a possibility. But I think also he just wants a certain amount each day because he wants that consistency. And I also think he wants to gauge how much support each game is getting. So it tells him, okay, I can keep playing this game, but this game I should either quit or play less of. If he had a cumulative goal, it would be a little more confusing what to keep track of. Then I think the last part is if you're always bundling goals together, he's afraid that he'll make less money in the long run. Because as I said, if your goal is 300 and you're splitting it, then he wants you to hit the goals twice in one day. He doesn't want to hit it just once. If he combines it, there's the fear that he will have to do it just once, and that can't happen for him. Now, what he could do is say a stream got supported not well, like let's say $90. On the next stream, if he hits a goal 150, he could then roll over that total and add it. So instead of being 150 out of 300, it would be 240 out of 300. And honestly, I think he would probably be better off doing that because it would make it more likely that he would be hitting multiple goals on consecutive streams. But also that could present the issue of, hey, you made $300 across 2 streams. We're not going to give you money for the next one. So I think he's just comfortable with resetting it because he's always at 0. Because if you're always at 0, you're always needing something. Whereas if you're at like 250 out of 300, I don't know, you're kind of good. And you know, obviously for a regular streamer, this isn't a big deal. But for Phil, since he puts all the focus on the money, it becomes this huge carnival of ridiculousness.
Your balloon. Bigger dude said, what was the biggest single tip I ever got? Likely the biggest single tip I ever got was around a little over $2,000. I want to say it was like 2,100 or something like that, 2,200. And that was ages and ages ago when I was streaming on Twitch. I remember it was a very long time supporter who just wanted to come by and you know, support. I think it might have been like a special marathon event. Maybe it was my birthday. In fact, I think it was my birthday one year.
He also did $2,000 to show Jasper, but I think that was $1,000 plus another $1,000. He did get $1,600 from one person on one giant tip this year before he played Mario Kart World, and then the person also gave him $200 in memberships.
And someone did like a $2,100, $2,200 tip. So that was the biggest one. Oh, of course, Grill says you must have been happy. Yeah, you have to understand that back then, things were not like they are today. Back then, I made significantly less than I do today, and I was in a big amount of financial distress. I had, like, debt up to my eyeballs. So to get that, basically, let me calm down for, you know, a little bit, because I had some good income, you know?
Most people think he was doing better during the Twitch days than now. The one thing was his goal was actually at 100, not 150, but he got a lot of cheers and bits and the other Twitch support that he doesn't get as much of on YouTube.
La 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 la. Well, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I really do like this playthrough. I'm enjoying the chill vibes that we have together when I play it. I am disappointed that it looks like it's gonna be like it is for most JRPGs. I guess Suikoden II was the exception, where we had a few people who were coming by and were supporting every single stream of it. So I kept it on a day stream and it kept hitting the goals and everything. It looks like, sadly, the sequel is not going to do it.
Which is wild that you decided to do a second playthrough of a game series based on getting support from whales that came here every single time. So why aren't they showing up now, Phil? What's going on?
So likely after this, I don't know, like I'll be honest, what this is now making me question is, do we play Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalice Chronicles at the end of this month or not? Because if JRPGs were still doing good, then I'd be like, oh, you know, no big deal. Yeah, sure, we'll do it. But now, I don't know. Now I'm questioning, is it going to do well or not? I don't know if it's going to do well. It might just flop. And the thing is, I love Final Fantasy Tactics. Like, that's a great series. It's a unique game. And I would love to play it for you guys, because I've never done a playthrough of it for you before, but I don't know. And as King Furbs just said, Tactics is a slower game. Yeah, some of the fights in Final Fantasy Tactics can take a long time. You know what it's like? Baldur's Gate 3. It's like it's a very, very early predecessor to the gameplay of Baldur's Gate 3 for sure. So I don't know how well it's gonna do, right? I just don't know.
Yeah, Phil, I would chalk that under a playthrough of play it yourself.
All right, I guess it's gonna be it. Let's go to the city and then we'll go save. That'll be the stream. I remember when you played Fire Emblem, it didn't do super well either. No, Fire Emblem. Basically, here's what happened with Fire Emblem. It started off strong because everyone demanded they wanted me to play it. But within like maybe a third to half of the game, it completely tapered off. But you know.
That's every single playthrough you do, Phil. It's very rare that you get consistent support from beginning to the end.
That's completely false. Jimmy Johnson's Suikoden II was the middle of the resurgence for me. Completely wrong. I had already been done with Kino Casino when I started playing that game. You're completely false. What a really stupid thing to say.
Yeah, but by then you still practically thought you had a resurgence.
There'll be one more stream of this game later in the week. I would hope that it'll do better than this one, but I don't know.
Honestly, I think if DSP ever did a rollover goal, it would be pretty stupid unless it was the night stream going into the day stream. It's just because he streams set times and the day stream is practically twice as long as the night stream. So theoretically, the goal for the day stream should be 200 and the night stream should be 100, but he doesn't think like that. He thinks 150, 150. And you know, that could actually be an issue. But what we're seeing here, it's very weird, is that the night streams tend to get more support than the day streams, which is like, you would think it would be the opposite because DSP is on longer, but I don't know. Maybe the whales just like the night streams for whatever reason. It's odd, but whatever. And the thing is, just with a rollover goal in general, if the support is less than $100, it's gonna make it hard for him to hit a double goal on that stream. What would more likely happen is that he'd have streams where he just gets to 150 and the support stops and then he's at 150 a day. And he wants 150 per stream, so those things are never going to align. So yeah, DSP actually bundling his goals together or rolling over would probably be a very bad mistake for him. Now, could he have a cumulative goal that runs outside the tips goal? Yeah, but the thing is, he would have to have another incentive that is separate from the DSP tries it. Right now, he just has DSP tries it, so he'd have to do a little bit of outside the box thinking, which he's not really liable to do. All right, everybody, thanks for watching this explanation. I hope you found it illuminating, and I will see you all next time.
I am legend.